Waterfowl hunting is awesome, but it's even more wonderful with the dog there to share it with. For me, it's not complete without the retriever. That's one reason why we do what we do. There's just something about the dog being there that matters.
7 years ago, I moved to Oxford, Mississippi, moved down for school, got there and realized I needed a job, decided I'd look at the classified, got this number, called him up. Luckily, I got him on the phone first try. I got there, pulled up on two guys in a rainstorm working a dog in a pond, and I thought to myself, I'm either crazy for getting out of the truck or I'm gonna love this. And you know, we shook hands, we went to the office, sat down, hired me on spot. I think I started work on the kennels. 5 minutes later, he gave me a chore to do, and it's been history ever since.
He has turned into a great dog trainer and a real pillar at our kennel, and he's just, it's been great. About 3 years ago, after training potentially hundreds of dogs, David and I were talking. He was like, you know, I just wish I had my own dog. He said, because I'm always training them and then we just hand them back out to other people. And he wasn't asking for one, he was just thinking out loud. And I thought, you know, I may make that happen.
When Marty gave me this puppy, I had all these big plans. I told Christiana, I was like, we got to think of this epic name. And I thought, well, you know, if I'm going to have a hunting dog and he's going to be hunting at the farm, I kind of want the name to relate to the place. I was thinking about Uncle Joe. I kind of looked at him and I thought to myself, what better way to repay, you know, kind of the founders of this place, you know, my Uncle Joe. And then it just kind of clicked, and I was like, man, I'm going to name him after Uncle Joe.
Kill him!
David is very fortunate that he is part of a family that has had a farm in East Arkansas for about 75 years. It is classic green timber hunting.
They called him Johnny Joe. He was my great uncle. He was kind of the guy that really developed this farm into what it is today. He figured it out. He saw what a special piece of the pie it was. And when that thought hit the back of my mind, it was stuck. And I knew that was the fit he had in this realm. He was going to be the young Joe. He's been a good dog. This was his second full year of hunting. Last year was his first. Everything, he had a good first year. You really started to see him blossom this year. He really started to show his true colors. I was very happy with him.
They're just so out of breath.
We're definitely in the right spot for the ducks.
We watched Joe do probably a 350-yard blind retrieve. He took 2 whistles to get there. It was beautiful to watch. Very well done. David did a great job handling him.
Red, here. Here. That's insane. I don't know if he's going to get it or not. I thought it was going off to the right. On the other side of him. That's what I was saying. Don't bother hand. Oh, he got it. Oh, my goodness. Man. What a retrieve. Wow. Way to go, Dave.
Say when we turn into the farm, it sparks a certain interest in him. He is up in your face, ready to go.
That's a good dog.
He will literally just be dead asleep, and he hits that certain bumper, that certain feel, that certain smell, and he's there. He's in your face, ready to go. And that, that's one neat thing that a lot of the sporting life dogs have. It's kind of a motto we have: calm but ready. And you can really see it show. You might have one bird working, you might have 500 birds working. Whatever the case is, he has the same demeanor, calmness of any dog that you would love to see. But when you send him, he goes like the wind. It's nice to be able to hunt with a dog that's not all over the walls. It's not whining. Joe really he holds all the keys that you would want in a retriever. He's very soft-hearted, loving, willing to please, but at the same time, don't get in his way when you send him, because he's going to come through you. And can't ask for much more out of him. There is no other place in this world that I'd rather be than next to a tree with Joe at our farm. We'll be on the boat ride in. He might be laid out on the bag of decoys. He might be laid out on the seat next to me. We stop in that hole, and I look at him, and I'll literally say, you ready? I mean, those ears kick up. He knows it's time. He hops in the water. We go to our spot, and it's game on.
Kill him! Look, Mark. Good dog. Good job, Marty. Kill him! I
get to bring My best friend that I'm with every day, Marty, he gets to come hunt here with me. He gets to bring his dogs. They get to experience the same thing that me and Joe get to experience. And I mean, I got my best friend I get to duck hunt with and get to train dogs with.
Hey, come around here. Hey, come around here. Hey, sit right here. His training, you couldn't ask for a better dog in training. He takes to it, he listens, he understands, he wants to learn. All the things that you could ask for in a good lab. And there's nothing more enjoyable than seeing a good dog work. And knowing that you shaped and took that dog and made it what it was is really an accomplishing feeling. And you could offer me $1 million and I wouldn't give that dog up.
From the day one, they've been thick as thieves, and he takes him everywhere he goes, and Joe and David have this little silent language where they just kind of understand each other. And it's been great to watch.
If he comes back, I want to be so happy. Not gonna hunt here every day.
Growing up, I loved to duck hunt. I loved everything about it. I loved coming here. I loved being around the people. I loved getting to shoot guns. I loved the boat rides. But at the same time, I didn't really understand what I had. But when you have a family piece of ground that has been in your family that long, and you get to come to day after day, season after season, that thought and that feeling is irreplaceable. We've got old maps of the farm. I couldn't even tell you what year this was. I mean, I'd imagine back in probably the 50s or 60s. When you get to come to a neat place and see original photos, from when the cabins were first built, when the boat ditches were first being dredged, it adds a different dimension and adds a different feeling. I get to hunt here the rest of my life, but hopefully my kids do too, and they'll get to see the same kind of photos. They'll see their dad growing up doing it. They'll see the grandparents growing up doing it, great-grandparents. This right here's always been a good one for a dog lover. That's Uncle Joe. All the old stories you hear of this place, there's a dog involved. When you get to be one of the individuals holding that element in your hand. Joe is my dog, and he is a piece of this place. I wake up thinking about this place. I go to bed thinking about it. Just to be able to come here and stand next to a tree that potentially somebody in my family stood next to 60, 70 years ago is awesome. When Joe first started coming here, first time we turned on the road, he hit that gravel, he perked up, kind of looked around, pull up to the cabin, let him out. He gets out, smells the smells, does his deal, comes back around, tail wagging. I knew we were good to go. Since that day, there hasn't been a time that I've come that he hasn't been with me. And there hasn't been a time that he's come where he's been in a bad mood. He loves this place as much as I do. You can see it in his face when we turn on the road. But it's at the second I start my boat to the second I pull my call out to start calling. It's all its own section of magic. There is nothing better than being able to call a piece of ground your own, you and your family's own, and at the same time have little bits and pieces. You've got dogs named after people. You've got certain holes in the woods named after others. You've got sections of the cabin named after people. You've got rules that still pertain to people from the 60s. You know, I mean, it's all those kind of intricate pieces that can create such a neat experience. This place has been known to have a lot of dogs. We love it. One reason that made me think it, Joe was the guy that always had dogs back in the day, and their names always pertained to the area. So I thought, well, this is just a good fit. And Joe stuck. Joe's been with me, and I really feel that deep down that my family would respect that they'd enjoy that, they'd smile at that thought. And in my mind too, I feel like old Uncle Joe's probably smiling down from heaven thinking the same thing. He's a joy to be around in the cabin. He's a joy to be around in the boat. He's a joy to be around in the woods. You don't even know he's there. You know, you'll be an hour and a half into the hunt. Things are going on, and you look back, and there he is. He's posted up, smiling, looking up, and you can kind of feed off of him. You know, you look back and you see him in his element, and see him shining like that. It only adds to everything else that's going on. Hunting here as a kid, you know, you'd come, you'd show up, put out decoys, all the adults would call, all the adults had the dogs. But when you get a little older, you get the opportunity to possess a dog in this case, of that stature and that quality. It adds a new realm to it. It adds a new perspective. I know that I won't always have Joe, but I know that I'll always have a dog there with me with a heart like Joe. When I get to the boats in the morning to start them up, and I start I pull that cord, I back the boat in, I turn to my left, and there's my buddy. You know, I've got somebody at my side the whole time.
Okay, let's talk about selecting a puppy. One of the first things I tell people is when you go out to a breeder's to look at puppies, you want to look at the conditions the puppies are kept in. In this case, these are some of our puppies. We have playpens that they come out to in the daytime. The main thing is that you've done your research and you're basically looking at pedigrees, and you've talked to the breeder and you understand the temperament that you're looking for, the drive you're looking for, hunt drive. In my case, I want a dog that is what I call calm but ready. We want a dog that has all the hunt, all the drive that we'd want, but it also has an off switch. It's calm in the house, calm in the duck blind. He's there, he's with you, you're a team, but you don't have to worry about him. If the breeder does not have collars on them, ask them if they could put identification collars on them, so you just kind of watch them. A lot of times when you first put the collars on a puppy, they scratch a lot like they got fleas because they don't understand what's on their neck, and that's normal too. The next thing I would look for is I'd get some toys, and I would put some toys out, stuffed animals, that sort of thing, and just see how they act around it. What we like to do, get some paint rollers or little stuffed animals and put in there with them and let them just carry them around, watch them, play with them. And you always, if in that case, it's nice to see them, a puppy that tends to grab that paint roller and just start walking around real proud. It's all about trying to buy the right puppy for what your needs are, and one that's healthy and happy and socialized and come from a breeder that's going to back it up.